issues. Transport. Noise. Bicycle. 1. Are bicycles popular in your city?
Bicycles are generally popular in China, probably because they are cheap transportation and you can get good exercise from riding them.
2. Do you often ride a bicycle?
Yes, I often ride a bicycle if I'm not going too far, or if I just want the exercise.
3. What do you think are the advantages and disadvantages of bicycles compared to cars or public transport?
Well, for one thing, travelling in cars and public transport is much quicker and can be more convenient. But when you ride bicycles, you don't get stuck in traffic and you can get some good exercise.
4. Do you think bicycles are suitable for present society?
Not always, because it takes too long to travel from place to place, and this makes bicycles not so practical. On the other hand, bikes are very suitable for present society, seeing we have reached the halfway mark in oil consumption. Maybe one day soon we will all be riding bikes.
Transport. 1. What means of transport do you usually use?
I don't have a car, so I usually use public transport, like buses or taxis or the metro. It's quite convenient for me.
2. What's your favourite means of transport?
My favourite way to travel is by plane because it's quick and convenient, even if it is expensive. I love to fly above it all and forget about traffic jams.
3. How do you like to travel for long trips?
By plane, because then it doesn't take me so long to get to my destination. I don't want to waste my valuable time just getting there. I have more important things to do.
4. What's the traffic like here in Beijing?
It's not so bad because of the subway. It usually doesn't take long to get from place to place.
5. How do you think the public transport could be improved?
Well, here in Beijing, I think they just need to add a few more subway lines and add some more ring roads and have more buses available in order to improve public transport.
Noise. 1. Do you mind noises? Do any noises bother you?
Yes, I can't stand certain noises, like construction work going on in my apartment.
2. What type of noise do you come across here in your daily life?
Where I live, you can hear a lot of noise from the construction and the traffic. At night, I can almost literally feel the hum of all the TVs and people talking in the area. People say that I am very sensitive to noise.
3. How do you feel if you work in a noisy environment?
I feel irritable and I can't concentrate. I need to work in a quiet, orderly environment.
4. Are there any sounds that you like?
I like the sound of rain falling and of music and of birds singing. I also like the sound of my mother's voice calling me to dinner. This is one of my favourite sounds.
5. Are there any sounds you don't like?
I hate the sound of snoring, or of babies crying, or of people talking very loudly. I also really dislike the sound of people complaining. This is one of my pet peeves.
6. Are cities becoming noisier?
I suppose they might be, since cities are getting larger, but I think that we are all becoming a little deaf from the noise in the city, and we don't even know it.
7. What about noise pollution? How do Chinese people feel about this form of pollution? Is it a problem in your hometown?
Well, if you have 1.4 billion people crammed into only about a fourth of the country's space, you're bound to have problems with noise. In big cities, noise is just a fact of life that you have to live with. In my hometown, It didn't used to be a problem, but when more people started getting cars and construction sites started popping up all over the place, the noise went from bad to worse. Maybe someday it'll get better, although I'll probably go deaf before that happens.
A library. Describe a library that you often go to. You should say what library it is, where it is, what the library looks like, what you do there, and explain why you like this library.
I like to go to a library called the People's Library near my home. It is located on First Avenue near Main Street in a very new building that has some beautiful urban sculptures standing on the grounds around it. The library has many floors, and each floor has different sections. The first time I went there, I needed a lot of help to find books, but now I feel like it is my second home. When I go to the library, I feel like I am leaving a lot of my worries and cares behind, even if I have to go there to research or study. I think that is because I know I can always find a quiet, private place to read or do my work. And if I want to travel to a different place or a different time, I can do that at the library by finding a book or computer that will take me into another world. I'm particularly interested in this library because it has a lot to offer. Besides having a good stock of books, it also provides office equipment, such as a good copy machine, a bookbinder, many computers and printers, and much more. And it has very good service too. If you need a book in another library, it will obtain that book for you by either shipping it from the other library or purchasing the book.
Part 3. Libraries. 1. What kind of people go to libraries most often?
I think people of all ages use the library. However, I think students use the libraries more often than older people. I often see young children in the library, but I think university students use the library the most frequently. In my opinion, the older generation use libraries the least. Some are too busy, and others have no interest in books.
2. Why do you think a library is a good place for reading?
I think that the atmosphere in the library is conducive to reading because, number one, it is one of the quietest places you can go. Also, if you start reading something and you find you are not interested in it, it is one of the best places to find another book. Nowadays, many people read from computers. It is very convenient, therefore, to be able to access materials on the internet at the library.
3. Even though it might cost a lot to maintain a library, do you think the government should open more public libraries?
On the one hand, I think that it is very worthwhile to have plenty of libraries. On the other hand, with the way technology is improving practically each day, it may be wiser to invest in making computers more accessible to more people. It is possible to go to an internet cafe and go online, but much of this time is spent on worthless computer games and watching movies. Establishing computer libraries and teaching people how to use them beneficially might be a good idea.
4. Do you think public libraries should be free of charge?
It would be nice if libraries were free, but usually you have to pay a fee or put down some kind of deposit. I don't think this is too unreasonable, as people often do not appreciate things they get totally for free. If people know they can get their deposits back if they do not damage any books, then it makes them more careful. Of course, the government should subsidize libraries so that people do not have to pay exorbitant costs.
5. How do you think libraries will change in the future?
I can picture a future where computer technology will enable us to have easy access to all the resources a library provides. People may not even have to read. They could just listen to texts. It may sound like fantasy, but with all the progress in technology, I think it is very possible.
Improvement. 6. What kind of skills do you think library staff should have?
I think library staff should always be very well informed as to where things are located in the library. This will enable them to help people to save time in finding what they need, which is a very big help in our busy times. I think they should also be very courteous, as people who are using the library can often be under a lot of pressure and often need a lot of help. Library staff should also be efficient and have organisational skills. They may have to take care of a lot of details, and it would make things very difficult for those using the library if items were lost or difficult to find. Last but not least, library staff should be patient. They may be faced with a myriad of requests each day, and those using the library will be unhappy if the staff are frustrated, impolite, or upset.
7. What can be done to make libraries more attractive?
I am interested in interior decorating, and one thing I would recommend for libraries is to incorporate more neutral colours into the decor. I believe that nowadays libraries are decorated to use maximum space and reflect maximum light. Browns and other muted colours can create a warm atmosphere. Comfortable and attractive seats can also make the environment more inviting. Also, I am in favour of having works of art in libraries. Not necessarily originals, but good quality copies of famous works are attractive as well as educational.
8. How has the Internet affected the popularity of libraries?
Certainly the Internet provides easy access to sources of information, although their validity should be suspect. However, there is nothing on the Internet that replaces picking up an actual book and reading it. Reading a book is a tactile experience. Books can be carried everywhere and read at any time. Although I use the Internet for a number of things, I have in my personal library about 300 reference books, and I find things in them that I do not find on the Internet. I augment this library with books from the public library.